A little countdown, and it's live. What's up, Fleet Wash Academy? Coach Carroll here. Got my man Eric Trice with me. Wanted to do kind of a video recap for you guys. Eric hit me up and was like, "Hey, man, look, I know I presented on sales. You did a little bit on sales, but let's just kind of do an overall recap and then hook these people up with something special." So, got a little something special for you at the end of the video. But Eric, how you feeling? You ready to do this thing?
Yeah, let's get it going.
Cool, man. So yeah, like I said, we just wanted to cover a couple of things that maybe we didn't get to, and then also expand on a few topics that I know Eric and I both kind of talked about a little bit. One of the things I spoke on it briefly in mine, I think Eric even talked about it, but I really want you guys to understand the VIP and the non-VIP, right? So your VIP people, they're going to fall into three criterias. Number one, they need to be big money, right? Big money versus small money. Number two, they need to have a large center of influence or a large sphere of influence. This may mean that even either their influence in their company or their influence in the community would give them this VIP status. And then also what I like to do is now money versus later money. And Eric, you know a lot about that, right? With people waiting to pay you, man. But it's having that ability to get paid quickly, right? So for me, the VIP is big money, big center of influence, and I'm gonna get my money fast. Eric, when you're looking at fleet washing, what other criteria or credentials, or how does that work inside of the fleet washing business?
So when I'm looking at prospective customers, I look at a couple of different things. Obviously, a lot of people think big money, big accounts, which isn't always the case. Sometimes you make bigger money with a smaller account. You go in and do 2, 3, 4 trucks for $150 in 15, 20 minutes versus doing 50 trucks, and it could take you one guy all day or two guys all day. Your dollars per hour is much greater on that smaller account versus bigger one.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. We talked about this too. Is like gross versus net. Like so many guys get like chubbed up about, oh my gosh, it's a huge gross number, but then at the end of the day, when you look at your net profit, you would have been making more money to go wash those 4 trucks and then spend the rest of the day with your family than going and washing 50 trucks and it taking you all day and you're not making as much money. So don't be fooled by that. And then that's why I say, like, hire out your bookkeeping, hire out as many things as you can in your business so that you can focus on running the business and being able to look at information like that. I personally think that you should be looking at your P&L statement on a weekly basis, depending on the volume of your company, maybe monthly. But please don't be that business owner that shows up to his accountant with a box full of receipts and all your bank statements printed out for the year and say, "Here you go. Tell me if I made any money or not."
Yeah, last year I ironed out all my bookkeeping, and it was the best thing I've ever done.
Yeah, man.
I
And
think
and what's it cost you?
when I started, maybe $200 a month,
It's cheap.
and that included the QuickBooks subscription and a couple other things. So it's like next to nothing, really.
Yeah, and it's nice because you'll get to the point, and I think one of the biggest challenges for small business owners is if you're, and at least it was for me. I'm speaking my own truths here. At least it was for me. It was like, I was 23, 24 years old, and I'm looking at like 30 and 40 G's in the fucking bank account, and I'm like, God damn, it's time to go buy a boat, right? Like it wasn't. I didn't have that mental clarity to go, no, retard, you need to go buy a salesperson for $3,000 a month and then duplicate your business over and over and over and over and over again. And so I think that was a really good thing about when I started outsourcing the bookkeeping. Hell, I didn't know if we were broke or had money. I just kept doing my job, which was sell and sell and sell and sell and sell. But yeah, hiring out that bookkeeper is huge. So that's VIP, non-VIP, with a little bit of bookkeeping sprinkled in there. We talked about this a little bit, the cold calling process, and Eric, I know you did. Did you mention you mentioned some of this in your class as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So and we talked about the process of dialing in and getting the appointment. And I'll give you guys a little nugget here, and we also give a free subscription and SEU to this. But Pipedrive is the software that I use to basically track all of my sales. I think one of the biggest challenges that people face when they're running a small business is that they don't stay on top of their sales process. Not just cold calling, but cold calling in itself is lead generation, right? Would you agree with that, Eric?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it's no different than running a Facebook ad to get a lead. You dial on the phone to get a lead. But once you have that lead, like, now what the fuck do you do with it, right? And like, what happens if you called them and they didn't answer the phone? Like, is that the only time you're ever going to call them? You're never going to call them back. That happens, right? Like, we just did a trade show when I came back from Detroit. I'll show you guys because I got them right here on my desk. We did a trade show for the apartment industry, and I mean, we cleaned house. We did win the Spirit Award, by the way, which was pretty cool. I don't know. Did you see that, Eric? My costume for that?
No.
I dressed up as Uncle Sam. But I mean, here's a stack of business cards. And so what are we doing right now? Well, the first thing I do is I took a track of all the people that actually were like, hey, I actually want to quote. I don't just want to win your Amazon Echo that you're giving away. So like we write down all their names and we put their cards over here on the side. So I'll show you guys the difference of this. Boom, nice little tricep shot in there. See that? So here's the difference. These people actually wanted to quote. These people just wanted to win free shit. So what I do is I separate these out, and I'll reach out to these people personally, and then the rest of them all go in my email list, and they're going to get an email once a week from me until they eventually opt out or say, hey, yeah, I actually need something. But where I was going with that is, I don't really know where I was going with that. I was just sharing you guys shit ton of business cards. It's been a long day, man. No, but I think what we were talking about is you got to have a process. And my process is I funnel out. Those are VIP customers because they actually want to quote, right? I figure out that those are my touches. The other people go into a funnel into email follow-up forever, right? Because I know that as you move them through, these people right here are actually going to get my mail pieces. These are going to get postcards. These are going to get the Jim Rome books because they're VIP. Having a systematic approach to your sales process allows you to be able to control your activities that you do throughout the day, and it also keeps you from spinning your wheels. Eric, what's your kind of lay that out? Because here's the cool part, man. Like we don't do a whole lot of fleet washing. Like I don't chase that. If it falls in my lap, we'll do it. So I want to kind of give these people the overall objective, and then you filter it down. How can they put that into action in fleet washing?
Yeah, so when I'm doing sales, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to do cold calls, any kind of sales. The first call, I'm just getting, I don't expect to reach the person I need to get to. So I get information, I build my information about that particular customer, so when I call back, and I'll just call back until I get them. And if I don't get them, I usually wait a while before I'll try and hit them an email or even leave them a voicemail. But I'll call twice a week, at least, if I'm on initial contact. And then after I've talked to them and either scheduled a meeting or they said, no, we're not interested, leave me alone, I still call them at least once every month or so, maybe 2 months at most, and I just stay in front of them over and over. I've had customers that I've called once every 2-3 months for 18 months before I close them. So, I mean, it just, you got to stay in front of them. Whether they're VIP, you know you're going to get a sale and you're right on top of the sale, or they said, no, we're not interested. You just got to stay in front of them. Because when something comes up, and something's always going to come up, they're going to call the guy who's going to fuck the shit out of them.
Yeah. Being that next guy in the Rolodex. Like, I just don't think, and this just comes from people being impatient, but you've got to be willing to just weather out the storm, so to speak, and be that second guy in line sometimes. I was just telling Tafiq this morning, my new VP of Business Development, I was telling him, I'm like, listen, man, we don't get no's here. Like, nobody says no to us. If they try to say no to you, you simply use this word track on them. Hey, Rick, listen, dude, I completely understand where you're coming from. Can you just do me one big favor? And the guy's like, he just told you no, go fuck yourself. And you're like, can you do me a favor? And the guy's like, yeah, sure, what? And it's like, listen, man, don't tell me no forever. Just tell me no today. Can I follow up with you in 3 months, maybe 6 months, next year, whatever works for you the best, but just keep me in your back pocket if you would. Now, like, you just completely change the script on him, because what normally happens is when you're on the phone doing cold call and somebody says no, a lot of times pushy, old school guys that don't know what the fuck they're doing, salespeople will just try to push and put more pressure. Instead, pivot, be different. Just agree with the guy. Like, hey, look, I totally understand. It makes sense right now. Can I follow up with you in 3 months? But you better have your systems in place to follow up with that guy in 3 months, is the point I'm trying to make. Because if you don't have a way to track your sales pipeline and your process, you're just going to be spinning your wheels, honestly, because you're going to do a lot of dialing. And then Eric, you and I both know what happens, right? Those are the people like, cold call doesn't work, right?
So what I do, if I get somebody who's like, no, I'm not interested, or say, well, we have a guy that does the house, everything's fine, we need it. Man, that's great. I really appreciate your loyalty. That means a lot. There's not very many people that are loyal in this industry anymore. I tell you what, let me just do it down low. I'm not looking for you to switch. I'm not looking for you to do anything you don't want to do. But when something comes up, you get sick, for whatever reason can't make it, an emergency, you know what I can do for you. You know what type of service you're going to get. You don't have to worry about who am I going to call. You just give me a call and I'll take care of you. Even if it's a one-time thing, that way you know what to do. And then when I follow up, it's, hey man, how are you doing? Is there anything I can do to help you out? I don't call and say, hey man, you ready to wash trucks?
Right.
What can I do to help you out?
Yep. Yeah. It's just being of service. Like, I mean, that's the big thing, right? It's just coming from a place of service. And, I always make the comment, my ability to sell is only as good as my ability to serve. Clients eat that shit up. They love it, because if you truly, and like, I can make those off-comment jokes because it truly is coming from my heart and I mean it. Like, if you truly say it from your heart and you really do mean it, people will be able to hear that and they'll understand it, and it'll be really well received. So good. So that's a little bit on the cold call process. I don't want to keep them too long. I know hopefully you guys are sticking with us. Got a special bonus for you coming at the end. Eric and I have worked on. Let's talk about personality types. I mentioned and alluded to this a little bit. I cover it extensively in Sales Excellence University. And I know you guys are like, what the hell is Sales Excellence University? A lady asked a question at the end of the event there, but I didn't want to pitch. I just wanted to pour everything into you guys. So I'll tell you a little bit more about it here in a second. But I want to talk about personality types. Is these four main styles, and this comes from DISC, Myers-Briggs, any of the personality style assessments. They break you down into four personality styles: 2 on the left side of the brain and 2 on the right side of the brain. Our right side is our logical, analytical side of our brain. Our left side is our creative. And then what that does is that allows you to have different traits about yourself. And so we have, I call it, I've got an acronym for them, but it's basically, it's going to be your talkers, your, Jesus, I haven't even looked at the training in so long, and I forgot the, a pop quiz. Let's do a pop quiz to Eric, because he's actually been through the full course. So what are they, man?
You got your director, your thinker, your feeler,
Talker. Yep, that's what it was. DTTF. Director, thinker, talker, feeler. There it was. See, we just had to work together. Look, man, that's good, though. That like shows people that you actually got something out of the course. It's awesome. So DTTF, that's how I always remember it. It's DTF, just with an extra T. But it's DTTF. So directors, these are going to be your type A, high-level, one-off personalities. Probably, Eric, would you say, I mean, if you're dealing with the maintenance guy, a decision maker, most of them are probably director-type personalities, right?
Most of the time.
Most of the time. And you can always tell because they're very short and sweet. They're very to the point. My brother helps me with the ad tech company, and he told me he got off the phone with an attorney one day. He was like, man, I don't think that guy was very happy with me. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, well, he's just kind of an asshole. And he said, look, send me the contract, send me references, get it to me by this date. Don't follow up with me anymore. If I'm interested, I'll call you back. And I was like, hell no, Nick. He's just a director. Those are the easiest guys to sell to. He told you exactly what he wanted. Like, send the info over. But sometimes we get so caught up in our own minds that we get twisted up, right? And then you wind up just puking all over a deal, and because a lot of times directors, they don't like a lot of talking. So if a director is sold and you keep pitching and you keep selling and you keep talking, you're going to wind up losing a deal because of it. And I know that's happened to me. Have you had that happen to you before, Eric?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You talk in your pitch, and they don't care about your pitch. They want to know what you're selling, what you got, and that's it.
Yeah. What is it? When can you do it? What's the price? And what's the date and time you can be here to do it? So yes, those are directors. And again, SEU's got full, like, literally course build outs to this, but I wanted to give you guys some extra knowledge for coming and hanging with me and Eric at Fleet Wash Academy event. It was awesome, man. I talked to a lot of really cool people. I had one guy come up to me and he was like, dude, you've just really been following you on social media. You've really helped my mindset just change. And I'm like, dude, that's what it's all about, and helping people grow. All right, so we talked about the director. Now we've got the thinker. The thinker is like an analytical person. A lot of times these would be like accountants or CPAs, those types of high engineer type analytical thinking people. Might not run into these too often, but you'll know when you do, because they're going to be basically making their whole decision off a worst case scenario. Right? It's like, if I made this decision today, what's the worst thing that could go wrong, right? And so the easiest way to close those is to talk about it. Talk about it right out the gate, right? Like, Rick, tell me, if you hired me today, what's the worst thing, like, in your mind, what's the worst case scenario that could happen? Well, shit, man, you wouldn't show up, then I got dirty trucks, then the manager's breathing down my neck, and then I might lose my job. So, like, while we think it's just, hiring us to pressure wash some trucks, this guy's making the decision that could cost him his job in his mind. So you have to understand how you play that, right? The director doesn't give a shit. The thinker is like all about it. In SEU, there's this one question that's the magic question. It's tell me about you. And the words that come out of their mouth, we train you exactly how to figure out who those people are. Anything to add on the thinker before we go to the talker?
I feel like the thinker needs just enough data to make a decision, but not too much data and numbers. Otherwise, it just overwhelms them.
Yeah, you have to be careful. You can do what's called a data dump, but the challenge is you've really got to be comfortable and have your deadlines in place. Because if you do a data dump to them and give them tons of information, the MSDS sheets and all this kind of shit, but you don't have a timeline established, then they'll take forever. I'm still looking it over. All right, they don't ever want to get a decision. So if you're going to data dump, give them the proposal and say, hey man, we allocate time and resources for all of our clients. With that being said, we put a 72-hour deadline on all solutions that are presented to clients. Let me know if you have any questions. Look forward to working with you. Now he's got 72 hours to make a decision, and it's crunch time's on. So good stuff, man. Good catch. So second or third, I guess, is talkers. That's me. This is the socializer, right? The guy that is like super friendly and stuff. I'll tell you, the easiest way to sell a talker is to, one, let them talk. Two, make them feel like they're going to have some status increase once they take this offering, the product or the service, right? Like, dude, you're going to have the cleanest trucks on the road. Let me do a demo for you, man. Like, if I do this demo and you don't think this is the cleanest truck you've ever seen, I'll never come talk to you again. Like, what? Some of you are afraid to make those huge, like, promises or those huge offers because you think you're not going to back it up. Well, guess what? The dude's probably not going to hire you anyway, so what do you got to lose? And the way I'm looking at it is like, shit, if the truck ain't clean, you don't deserve the account. So, but you can tell them about the status, how their status is going to change. Bro, your boss is going to be pumped. He's going to ask you, did you hire somebody for the wash bay? Because then things look brand new. Like, you just have to sell that status, and you'll be able to hook them. Eric, any additions onto that one?
I think you hit it right on the head. I don't know if there's much I can add to that.
All right, cool. And so the last one is the feelers. These are emotion-based people. A lot of times these are going to skew more female than male, and this isn't like me being picky. Like, I'm just telling you what the science tells us. William Moulton Marston, his book is back there somewhere. he is like the godfather of this stuff. He created Wonder Woman, the polygraph test, and then essentially built out the 4 types of personality styles, which Disc, Meyer-Briggs, McQuaig, all those are built off of. So don't get mad when I say this stuff. It's just, sometimes it's a hard pill to swallow when somebody's like, hey, man, this is exactly how you are. And you're like, I'm not like that. It's like, sorry, kind of are. But the last one is the feelers. Feelers are emotional based. They need a slight nudge. These are people, especially I know about half the room was residential, so this will help you guys. If you get a feeler on residential and you're quoting them, a house wash, driveway, deck, everything, right? You can't let them make the decision. Same thing with fleet washing. You can't let them make the decision on if they want bi-weekly or weekly because they don't know. They're hoping you could help them out. They're looking to you to be the expert, right? And so you've got to push them and say, Mr. and Mrs. Johnson, here's what we got. I'd highly recommend this or this, but if I had a pick, I'd go with that one right there. All I need is your signature here and here. We can get that started. Got to ask for the close on those because otherwise they'll just be like, I don't know, bro. Let me think about it. And really, they don't need to think about it. They're just being indecisive. Anything to add on that one?
Yeah, I actually closed one just like that a couple weeks ago, and he was like, how often do you think we should do this? What do you think it's going to cost? Well, it's going to cost this. I think we should do this. Okay. So, it's just, I think the feelers are the easiest to spot.
Yeah.
Because it's obvious right up front.
Yes.
United?
You can, and they're about, I'll have to look at the chart. I think they're around 60% of the personality styles are feelers. But I'll go ahead and give them the training or give them the free bonus that we were talking about. Basically, if you click the link in the video here, we'll put this up on YouTube, but there's a link down in the description. We're going to give you a free lesson out of SEU, and it's actually on personality styles. So it's got the 4 different types of personality styles. And listen, the number one thing that you need to grow your business is more sales. I truly believe that. Eric, after you got through SEU, not including the funnel that we built for you because that's separate, I want to just talk about SEU only. What do you think the results were that you got out of that?
As far as growth, what do you think
growth. Personal, business. Obviously money always matters if you're willing to share that. But what do you think? Just kind of let them know. Be honest, because this is the coolest part about this is that you've actually went through the course. There's so many guys selling online courses right now that are garbage and they're fake and they're made up and they get phony testimonials. But you're actually someone that was at the Fleet Wash Academy. You saw me spoke. We're both real people. You went through the course. Give them the real deal.
I think I did your course. It's been a year ago?
Yes.
A little over a year ago, maybe?
Yeah.
So my first year, I started my business on the side and did $36,000 worth of business. The second year, I went full-time on May 1st. I started the program right around that time. And I did $165,000. The following year, I did $300,000. So I've consistently grown 100% year after year, and I think that made a big difference. I watched a lot of videos and looked at a lot of different things in sales outside of SEU, and the personality traits and that part of it is probably the most valuable, because you can have the greatest pitch ever, but if you pitch the wrong pitch to the wrong personality, it's never going to work. So you're kind of going you said 60% are feelers. So if your pitch is geared towards directors, you're not going to close very much.
Right. And that's huge, man. I don't think people realize that is, right pitch on the wrong person means you ain't making money.
Right. Absolutely.
So, do you think it helped you with learning that? Do you think it helped you with some of your confidence to be able to talk to people because now you're starting to understand them? Because remember, Marston says, if I can understand you better than you understand yourself, I can control the communication. So, did you feel more comfortable when you were talking to people after that?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a learning curve trying to get past like really, hands-on figuring these personality traits out as you talk to someone over the phone. But as soon as you figure it out, it was just game changing. Really, I mean, I don't know how to describe it other than that.
That's good though. I mean, like, can't even put it into words, man. No, but so what we wanted to do is, like I said, Eric hit me up. He's like, hey, let's do a little recap thing. Sales Excellence University. It's a 12-week program. You basically get 2 videos per week. There's about 3 or 4 of them front loaded, and the reason why we do this is that if you get a course and there's 30 plus videos, and some of them are 3 or 4 minutes, some of them are 20, 30. I think there's one in there that's like 45 minutes long. If I were to drop all of those on you at once, you would maybe devour half the course and then your phone would ring. Or you'd get a third of the way through and then your wife would have dinner done. And then you never come back to it ever again because you got instant access. To where it brings you back in every 2 weeks. The AMS sheet, I didn't get to talk about that at the event, so I'll touch on that real quick. That's huge. It's an Excel protocol that I built that allows you to track how many calls you've got, how many appointments you're setting, how many closes you've got, how many follow-ups you've done, so that at the end of the week, you can see exactly where your activity went. Eric, I don't know if this is true for you, but for me, man, when I started like writing down and tracking my activities, and it happened for other clients too, it's like you get at the end of your first week and you're like, shit, I really didn't do a whole lot of sales-related shit. I was just like running around like a chicken with my head cut off, pretending to be busy and not really doing the things that matter, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's in SEU. The AMS, we got the goal setting sheet and the goal training, so that it's one thing to write down your goals, right? It's another thing when you write them down on a sheet with estimated roadblocks, things that you need coaching wise, rewards and ETA, your accountability squad, things like that. So got that in there, plus the training on that. Training on the SOSC sales process that I touched on at the event. We got training in there for the personality selling, which is by far what I get the most compliments on, because it will change the way that you communicate with people, because you'll be talking to somebody that's completely unaware of what their triggers are, and you'll know how to roll right up in there and poke their buttons and persuade them to do. My mentor that taught me all this stuff, we called it Jedi mind tricks, right? You got to use Jedi mind tricks for the good, not for the bad. So that stuff is pretty cool. And I got some also some extra bonuses in there that you'll see on the page when you go check it out. But check the link below. It's a special link just for you guys that were at the Fleet Washington Academy. Eric, I know, probably sent this to you in an email. So appreciate you guys hanging out for us and watching. Hopefully that gives them some takeaways, some extra nuggets. Eric, anything you want to add to the end here? Anything that we didn't cover?
You touched on writing down goals. And I think a lot of people, their goals are way too small.
Too small. Yeah.
You're gonna have big goals.
Yeah, man.
That was
it's huge. It's what, like, it held me back. I kick myself in the ass now because I'm like, man, my net worth could be 5, 6, 7 times what it is if I would have just thought bigger and wouldn't have went and took all the money out of my business account, bought a fucking boat or a bike, or an airplane. Like, if I would have left that in there and rolled it and reinvested, like, if you guys can just get punched in the mouth for 10 years, you'll pop out the other side, and then it's just like smooth. And it really, if you're smart with it in hypergrowth, it doesn't even take 10 years for you to, about year 5, you can start hiring people, and so, they'll get punched in the mouth instead of you getting punched in the mouth. You'll just have to manage them when it happens. But I think that goals are huge, and that's why I put that training in there with that sheet, because if you're not just thinking huge, man, I'm talking like just way, way beyond possibility. And then here's the other thing also, you have to reverse engineer that back to you so that you can see the steps. You can't just look at the star and think, oh man, it'd be really cool to get there. you have to build the ladder in your mind to be able to get there first. And then it just comes day in and day out. Execution, execution, execution.
Absolutely.
Cool, man. All right, guys. Well, hey, look, appreciate it. Thanks again for having me at Fleet Watch Academy. Eric, thanks to you. You're the one that set all this up. So everybody show much love to my man there. And go check out SCU. If you got any questions, you can email Eric. He's been through the whole program, so you don't have to feel uncomfortable and email me. Shoot an email back over to Eric if you got questions. He can probably get those answered. If not, he'll touch base with me. And again, just really appreciate you guys locking in and paying attention the whole time I was up there speaking. It was fun and engaging. Glad nobody passed out on the breathing exercise. And hopefully I'll see you guys real soon. Anything to add before we go, Eric?
No, I appreciate you taking the time to hop on here tonight. Personally, I felt like I under-delivered a little bit with my presentations. That's part of the reason why I wanted to do this. According to some guys, I knocked it out of the park. But I still wanted to one-up it for just my personal.
Nice.
Here we are. I hope this adds a little bit more to what you guys got from the conference. And hope you all double your business next year.
That's right, man. It's all about. And I really think until you get to the $500,000 mark, like you should be able to double your business every year. If it's your sole focus, it's not hard to do. You just have to believe that you can do it, and then put in the actions. Because again, remember, affirmations without actions are delusion. So you've got to put in the action to back it up. But ultimately, if you're grinding every day and truly believe you can get there, it's a possibility. Most people just never think it's possible because they're afraid of what happens next. So cool, man. All right, we'll see you guys soon. Take care.
See.